Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's almost 6:40. I'll call this meeting to order. I'm going to look around and we'll introduce everybody afterwards. We'll go ahead and have the pledge of allegiance, please. The pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
If you want one of these, that's the agenda. Thank you. And can you go ahead and sign in here? Absolutely.
Well, from the,
Is there a passage?
I'm not sure that everybody has a copy of the agenda in front of them.
It should be on the table.
Oh, it is.
You see them?
If it's not, there's a.
Over. Okay.
Because again, we have to have the agenda. Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
I think I left my copy.
I call your attention to the agenda and if there's any amendments or additions. Speak up and do that. If not, need a motion to accept the agenda.
Make a motion to adopt the agenda and present.
Well, second.
Okay, so Mr. Cubey has made the motion to adopt it. And Ms. Baldwin has seconded and do I do the roll call? Or
Well,
can I just get the three?
introduction of new members.
Yeah, well, that's, I didn't put this in this order, so I would go a little different. Go ahead, Mr. Cubey, why don't you start as introducing yourself?
All right, my name is Ed Cubey. On the planning commission, only been 2 meetings, because I was appointed in June as my first meeting, so I attended June and July. And the August one was council. I was on council before that for 3 years. And I've done other things in Louisa County.
My name is Nicole Washington, and we currently own a house in the town that we're renovating and moving to. I work in Orange. I'm the director of development services for planning and zoning. And I attend the meetings there and have the zoning education and
Okay,
I'm Jolene Bullock. I work at the Louisa Library. I've been on the planning mission a year. I think it's a year. I've lived in Louisa for 30-some years.
good.
I'm Lauren Ball. We've lived here in Mineral for about 8 years. I teach preschool in the town of Louisa, and I'm the Cub Master of PAC 183 that meets at St. Jude's in Mineral.
Okay, well, thank you.
And the 5th member is not here, is Tony Williams.
Yeah, Tony Williams, he's been on the planning commission for a very long time because when I did my 4 years as the planning commissioner, he was on it. So fortunately, this day on his calendars never works. So that's why we've always had it on a different day. So, and I'm just filling in kind of as the master of ceremony here until you folks decide whether you're going to elect a chairman, secretary, and I guess from my point of view is, do we have any nominations for a chairman, Chairwoman. Discussion as far as, oh, yeah, have a discussion, obviously.
So when this was brought up, I was talking with the town manager and he was saying that we need to do this tonight. It was first brought up that you appoint a chairman, a vice chairman, a secretary. I don't think most planning commission necessarily have a vice chairman, but I don't think it would be a bad idea. Because if the chairman can't be here, whoever it is, then you end up having to deal with that each and every time, who's gonna fill in his place, and you have a substitute if the person happens to be away and all. So I think it'd be a good idea, since we don't have anything structured that says. Well, it does say you have to have a chairman and secretary, but if you want to go beyond that, is my suggestion, maybe you should have the vice chairman as well. And then the other thing is, do you want to elect the permanent tonight with the 4 of us and 3 of us voting? Or do you want to just do a temporary tonight and do that when we have 5 people here?
Yeah, and the only thing that I would add, unless it's changed, I know in the past I tried to get Tony, but again, because of his beliefs, he's a great member. I think there's something religious wise that prevents him from.
He's not here tonight to go to that.
Yeah, I could be wrong.
Well, our regular meeting has been on Thursdays.
Right.
And I would suggest, and I don't know how the rest of you feel, and we're not at that point right now. But that could be something we decide to continue with the Thursday one, if probably everybody knew that's what it was. So it
I
probably
didn't know
was.
what it was, but Thursday does work best for me.
So we'll get to that, but how do y'all feel about, do you want to go ahead and select the chairman tonight, of the planning commission, or a temporary one? And then wait till we have a full body here and decide on that, and if you want, decide on the meeting dates and other things as well. Just have this as this is a special meeting, because normally we met on Thursdays, and this was called as a special meeting tonight. So my 2 cents is, consider whether you consider those things. And
I mean, this is really your meeting. I don't have any input into it, so.
I'm comfortable making a decision tonight as long as it's not gonna put Tony out. I wanna be sure that obviously whatever night we choose.
Well, he said Thursday worked for him, and that was why we
Yeah.
originally we were going with this today.
Thursday.
Okay, so I will show that Thursdays.
Well, you gotta take care of the chairman first before going to that. Because we discussed it, that's all. And that to me, I brought it up and said, let's have a discussion, because all that is in play. And we have 4 people here, if we have 1 missing, and we only have 3 people voting. Right?
Right,
So how do y'all feel about that? We make that, and then we can move along with the rest.
Isn't it hard for 3 people to vote on 2 positions? I mean, I find that.
well, there's only 5 of you,
Right.
and the reason that one of your members can't vote is legally they're not a resident of the town yet.
Oh.
Although there's only 4 here, and only really
Not here.
the legitimate one that's not here.
Shall we put it off until?
We can put the selection of the chairman off if you want to just go with the temporary.
Yeah, let's just choose a temporary one, and then when we're all here and all on the up and up. We can make that call.
So I think you're back to ask.
Asking vice nomination for a temporary interim chairperson.
Mr. Kuby, do you want to be an interim chairperson? I would like to nominate Mr. Kuby.
Okay,
Second.
and second,
Sure.
all in favor,
Aye.
Mr. Cubic, I will now hand the reins.
I will say yes, because you.
Okay, I will now hand over The reins to you.
Very much. So would y'all like to also proceed and select the vice chairman, or you just want to let that ride until the next meeting? Probably that could ride.
Got that right.
Okay. So the next thing on the agenda is establish fixed time for holding regular meetings. My suggestion would be, Thursday was established, we didn't change it. Let's have an October meeting, but I would also like to recommend that we may want to call a special meeting beforehand, because we were expecting to come here tonight and talk about the comprehensive plan. And it was supposed to be, so we thought, somebody from the Thomas Jefferson Planning District that would attend to assist. Because it's taken a long time to get to where the comprehensive plan is right now. And as part of my own perception, TJPD should have been involved in it all along, because they've prepared them and saw the town through the process several times before. They've got the expertise to do it, and they've got all the software and things to do graphs and charts and get the data and all to support it. So I would strongly encourage that we get them involved to help use their expertise and tweak what we've got. We might want to delete some things, we might want to add some things, surely, but we don't need to start all over.
They were supposed to be here tonight,
Yeah,
was my understanding,
Yeah.
but that fell through.
Somehow fell through.
I thought that was why the meeting was changed to Wednesday this month was
That's-
for the planning commission.
That's what we heard, but I don't know. I don't know the circumstances there, but seeing that they're not here, I would still like to, if you look at the agenda, we're gonna have the conditional use permit request to discuss first. I would still like to have some discussion of the comprehensive plan, but not a detailed discussion, just some more us getting together to discuss, where we are and what we can do. So we will, we'll definitely have an October meeting on the third Thursday at 6:30. And we may be contacted about a time when TJPD can come in here before that, and we can get started on this plan. So I don't expect to be doing that on any regularity. Once a month should be fine.
So,
But-
Mr. Chairman, that would be Tuesday, October.
It is.
yeah, which I have a conflict that
It's that.
Thursdays, third Thursdays.
Okay, well, I guess that's why we'll have to discuss it at the next meeting. Sorry.
Can we change it from a third Thursday?
We can change it to anything.
Yeah,
What works best for you? What works better?
I mean, Mondays work the best for me, but
I'm fine with Mondays. Mondays are not bad for me, especially if it's just one Monday.
it's one Monday.
7 o'clock on Monday.
So that's good.
The library closes when I work, other than me changing my night.
Let's give it some time for all of us to evaluate the fact that, it may need to be. But the group needs to decide on what that will be. And maybe we can share some emails back and forth about it or something. All right, so all that being said and done, then we were advised by the town manager that there is a conditional use permit request that's been submitted. It is pertaining to Miller's Market. And that Miller's Market would like to add gas pumps to its business. And AJ, can I just call you AJ? Absolutely. AJ is here with us tonight. He is the owner or the owner of Miller's Market. So you have a package that was put on the desk. That is what was emailed to you.
Yeah.
It's our copy of it. I'm gonna go over that application real quickly, the beginning of it, and then we'll let AJ speak to us about it. And I don't have anybody, I do have one. Do you have to speak? Do you want to speak? I'm very grateful. Give you an opportunity. In fact, before I read this, would probably be the time to ask for the public, anybody wants to speak, so let's redress a moment. And after you finish that, we know where you live and all that stuff.
Well, I still have to tell
Would
you,
you like to go ahead and speak pertaining to the request? First time I've been back in this position a little bit, let me read the front, just a request, and then let you speak as to your comments and all about it. So on August 22nd, Mr. Singh, Agent Singh, submitted an application in writing to the town manager and give his address and the information there. So his reason for the request, conditional use permit pursuant to section 425-56 of the Middletown Code. And at the bottom is Reese Peck's comment or his decision, which is to forward the request to the planning commission for action within 30 days per town code 425-56. Okay, so the application says the store that sells in property description, the grocery store, we all know where it is. And he has listed here, it's a store that sells food and household groceries to consumers and local businesses with the objective to sustain the community. The reason for the request for a conditional use permit, this request for business development is for the application of gas as a gas company has been established, Anderson Oil, including the submission of property survey, including the pump locations. Per the application of the conditional use permit, a review of the use regulations, section 425-56 of the town of Mineral Code says gas pumps are not stated verbatim. Rather, well, the code doesn't say that. What his review and comment on it is that gas pumps are not stated verbatim, rather left as an open discussion to allow within the light commercial district. All town and mineral codes and regulations will be met and are open for discussion to amend this project on the business property of Miller's Market. And then he gives us the hours of operation, original Monday through Saturday 8 to 8 and Sunday 7 to 7. Number of pumps 2 with 4 dispensers, creating access for trailers and boats as nearby locations do not have service to these. 3 lighting, customer funnel lighting underneath canopy that are in the same timing of the business hours of the operation. Customized canopy lighting will be placed on a timer, allowing lights to turn off at desired time and disallowing any concerns of bothersome business practices to the community. 4 U-Haul rentals. There is no contract with U-Haul, only a signed agreement. As a business owner, I can decide whether or not I would like to continue my U-Haul agreement or to terminate. The deciding factors are the community and town mineral codes. 5, previous well on property and understanding, including myself as a business owner in town of Mineral, Louisa County, that was previously a well, there was previously a well near the entrance of 5th Street. Post approval of the ground will get tested to view if ground is valid to use, as it is a hefty cost for environmental testing that I, the business owner, must appear. So that's the crux of his request. There are attachments being the section of the code that has to do with light commercial description of that, Middletown Code. Diagram that he has submitted related to his proposed location of the tanks. 2 diagrams and some letters of support from several businesses in town and a tailored email that AJ wrote to us on August the 18th. That being said, we'll consider that as the town's presentation of what the request is. We have 1 person from the audience that's come to speak, and that's Tony. Yeah,
Tony Henshaw, 607 Louisa Avenue. Seems like this has been all the talk is about the gas pumps and the gas pumps and the gas pumps. And honestly, I've heard so much negative, and I don't understand why I've heard negative. The man clearly has a business there now. There is traffic there now. He has rest of this lot that he wants to grow his business. So I don't see why that adding to his business is really going to change a whole lot of anything. There's still going to be traffic there. And some people say, well, traffic at night. He has traffic at night. He has Coke machines. He has Red Box. They come and go all night. So I don't see anything changing. I see there being a positive because this intersection up here, if you've ever seen it, people trying to get in and out to get gas, they just tie the intersection up and tie the intersection up. And it would help to free traffic up. And as far as this well that everybody's scared to death of, that's not for the town to decide. If environmental people said that the ground's good, we're just here to say whether or not we want the man's business. And I live right next door to it. I have no problem with it. I would have one request that I would throw in there. I would like to see that if this goes through and he goes through with it and whatever, that the lights that he has now is incorporated under the new code where that if you do a new business, you have to have the daytime. Yeah, dark sky lights. And I think that would blend in with the lighting that he's doing and do better, but that's the only thing I have.
Existing lights outdoors be addressed, not just the.
Well, the existing light out there, you're there, but I'm saying if he's gonna put new construction and everything in, that he could put new lights in and do away with old lights and it would blend in better, because I know that there are some people around there who complain a lot about the lights that are there. So you could upgrade that in the process while you're doing this new construction. But I'm all for the town growing, all for more business, all for making it better for everybody.
Mr. Chairman, if I'm speaking as the town mayor, I did have Mr. Tommy Runnett approach me at the post office as a target of opportunity. And he wanted to convey that he in fact does support AJ and his quest to get the gas pumps in, and he had no objection. Of course, some of you have lived here longer than the rest of us. At one time, there was a lot more pumps along Main Street. So he just says that, you know, we shouldn't be trying to keep a person from their livelihood or improving their livelihood. So he, in fact, did support his application. So I just wanted to make that part of the record since Mr. Rundert couldn't be here.
Can I ask a question? Can I ask a question? Mr. Singh, are you guys gonna do ethanol-free gas at all at those pumps? Okay, that'll be great for boats and getting trailers in, because you guys have the space, way more space than any. Okay, excellent.
No one else to speak, and with that being said, I'll close the public discussion and ask AJ, would you like to address us about your request?
Sure. Hi, my name is AJ Singh. I'm the owner of Miller's Market up the road, and I'm mainly here to address and answer any questions that arise and get those nipped in the bud. So there's nothing left open that's unknown as well. Again, you had mentioned ethanol free. Yes, we will have regular plus premium, ethanol free and diesel. I'm also looking to get kerosene, but I'm not too sure just because it is a very high dollar and that's not really the area for it. And that's a separate pump and all that fun stuff. And the underground terminals, those will be set up accordingly to set up conduits underground for electric vehicles. They will be in place, but not installed above ground. They will be there for future reference if needed. So there's no redigging underneath the ground. And the well, of course, the environmental testing. I already have a company lined up for that. Anderson Oil goes to a third party. I have it in my email. I don't remember his name off the top of my head. Although they are their number one source for environmental testing all over Virginia. And that's who they use. And they are licensed in Virginia and the US to do environmental testing. Excuse me. And I'm here to approach any questions.
Okay, so tell me, if the testing is done and they come up with things that they think need to be addressed and corrected or retrofits and all, are you prepared to do those things?
Yes, those will be adjusted accordingly to make sure those are the top priority to get done.
Anyone else want to ask
So,
questions?
yeah. So this is a conditional use permit, so are there conditions that we would like to implement for the property owner to establish so that things are followed, like the condition of the lighting could be one that we suggest that is put in as a condition that has to be met. I know that comes up and I understand what the lighting is, so just a little bit, we own a store, we had to go through all the same stuff. So I understand exactly what you're dealing with. The only question I have, or I guess more of a concern, just because I'm just putting information out there, is the traffic on the main road in town. It's people drive more than 35 miles an hour. And that's so busy right there. I don't know if VDOT has ever come out and looked at site for that curve or how traffic is or what's happening. Just that can become a concern if lots of traffic, they're pulling into the parking lot. I know you have the other entrance, you can come off, you don't have to turn right off of Merrill Avenue. That's something that just I've noticed being at the house and working, is that there's traffic generally. It can be dangerous for that. The way the gas pumps are done, I don't know that there's any effect on the entrance. Does the entrance have to be widened at all? Did you ever spoke to any there?
For the diagram that you're pointing at, the one in the front side, yes, to your left, those are the actual pumps. Yes,
These are the actual things.
those are the underground tanks.
Yes. But we have the big center 20. Seems to me that should come out, they should look at maybe as you're approaching that right lane will just temporarily be a turning lane and people will, in other words, the traffic will actually go more towards the middle of the road until you pass maybe East Fifth Street. I don't know. I don't plan to tell VDOT how to do stuff, but we're fortunate that the road is really wide. I just don't know how the fix is on that, because if you go up towards the light, that lane has been taken away, so you can't pull in.
So normally, what happens is when a site plan is given for something, you have outside agencies that take a look at it and they approve it. With this being the town and this is where we are with this, it would be nice to have VDOT. I don't know if they would, I don't know how that works in the town. If they would just look at distance and everything for the road, what that's like. Again, being in the town part, I don't know how they operate.
Yeah, it's different here. So one of the things, the hurdle that the applicant needs is we just need to say yes or no, knowing that that's the beginning of having to do the, in this case, the water testing. The VDOT study might be another one of those things, and then if he goes to the county, then they got some things that he's got to jump through too. But I think the part of what we're trying to explain to people when I was here is, we don't want to say to the applicant, hey, you gotta put out $1 million, and then after $1 million and it's all good, they won't approve.
You know, exactly, let you ask your questions and everything. Get to the discussion of it all. But I gotta reel it back a bit. The town manager explained to me that the purpose of our meeting tonight, it's not a public hearing. It hadn't been advertised as a public hearing, so I'm kind of conducting it as one right now, let the public speak and all. But tonight, all he's looking for is for us to say that we either agree or disagree that this is worthy of allowing a conditional use permit request to proceed. And we can say yes or no, but we're not the final say. It'll go to town council. But we only have 30 days to do it by town code. And it's getting close to that right now. So if we don't act, and if we didn't have a quorum tonight, it would have just gone on to council without any recommendation from the planning commission. So we're not gonna, at this meeting, approve or deny or have to come up with those proper conditions at all. But if it proceeds and it gets from council ultimately, then public hearings are gonna be set. We'll have to hold one and council will have to hold one. And yes, the conditions that AJ has offered need to be considered and see whether we are satisfied with them, if we want to adjust anything or add other things, whatever. But again, this is a good opportunity here tonight where some things are being flushed out, which I think should help you as well as the council. Purpose of the planning commission is to raise issues so the council is better prepared. And so the applicant is better prepared when it gets to their stage and make a decision. So we don't have to go through everything and then go through it all again. But we get a better idea of what's transpired by your being here and by us getting all this put together and wait to see what the town council decides in the end. That will be the deciding factor, whether the public hearings that address them occur. So it's still a little bit drawn out. Apologize for that. I hope that was what you were aware of, what was happening.
And one more thing I do want to add.
Sure.
I do have a fair amount of testimonials from local businesses and local community members. And I do have a petition at the store for if the community support the gas pumps, we can push for a little more. And so far, I've had a petition up there for a week and a half, and I had roughly 200 signatures already. And the meeting is, I believe the public meeting is in November, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm curious to see how many signatures I'll have by then.
You have 200 signatures.
Yes. So far.
You've cleaned up that store since you bought it. It is, I shop there now. I'll just put it that way. It looks great compared to what was there before. I think stock wise, you're serving the needs of the community in a much better way. I mean, I just don't see a problem with it. I think the lighting, I feel like all of those issues can be addressed. I don't think there's anything that can't be worked through.
No, I've listened to him before because this is not his first time speaking. And I don't see a problem with it because I don't live right there where if there was a light problem, it would bother me. So I don't see any problem with it. And yes, if it will clear the congestion on the corner, I would think that would be a big help.
And actually, I do have one question for Ms. Washington, if I may. Since you do have the house across the street, would that affect you in any certain way?
Is a little lighter.
I feel like like you know, when you buy a house on the main drag, surrounded by commercial property.
I honestly really like it here, so you're gonna have things that you deal with no matter where you go. It's convenient, we've shopped in there several times. I didn't know, I don't know how long you owned it.
2 years, starting our third, we're in our third year.
We've shopped in there and, you know, yeah. I don't know that anything's gonna bother me. I would suggest the dark skylight just because it keeps it, lights up the area and it keeps the light focused, but, you know.
And the lighting, that can be customized with the gas company since they will be doing everything, I guess, from scratch. From the canopy lighting to the building lighting, all that fun stuff. And actually, Anderson will remodel their gas pumps. They're starting in January, so hopefully this does get approved and I'm pushing for it. It's gonna be brand new gas pumps. There's a Marathon up the road. It will be a Marathon as well, but it's the updated version of it.
And I have to just make one comment, sorry, I'm different. But when you get into the gas business, it's not to make money, it's literally to give something back to the community so they have something. Just from experience.
And bring in
And bring in.
other business.
Right.
So there's a lot of voting, so I'm pretty sure that will definitely,
Yeah, having ethanol free.
yeah.
And a way to get, certainly a better option for getting a trailer in.
I live on the other side of the street from you, but a little further up, I'm next to Besley.
Oh, okay.
I have 3 little people at my house, so yeah.
So as to my comments, I just want to put these out there so that you are aware, so the planning commission is aware, and just so they be presented in the record. And that is, if you read the light commercial district regulations, the statement of intent 425-23 says, I think you have a copy. The primary purpose of this district is to establish and protect a limited business district that will serve the surrounding residential districts. Traffic and parking congestion shall be held to a minimum to protect and preserve property values in the surrounding residential districts. And insofar as possible, all neighborhood business development shall take place in a limited business. So we have 4 classifications, well, we have 5 because they had, there were originally 4 classifications. A residential limited, and a residential general, and a commercial light, and a general commercial. Gas pumps and things are listed in the general commercial. They're not, as EJ has mentioned, they're not mentioned in the light commercial. Light commercial says anything in residential that is permitted is also permitted in the light commercial, except for the townhomes and things like that would require conditional use permit. And it goes down and lists in 425-24. It reads retail businesses, number F. Retail businesses, which include retail stores and service establishments such as bakeries, food shops, drugstores, branch laundries, dry cleaning, but not dyeing, beauty parlors, barbershops, tailor shoe repair, all those types of things. Well, the food shop would be the closest to what you have that obviously
Right.
sells food and lots of other things as well. I would say that if you look on the zoning map there, the whole section from where you come into town in Mineral from Woodland direction, coming north up along the railroad track, coming from Pendleton, headed up like you're going in the direction of Louisa. To the left of the railroad track is light commercial all the way until you get to 2nd Street. Then it becomes general commercial and goes on out of town towards Louisa. The existing service station, Express Lane, is in general commercial. The Marathon is in general commercial. There isn't any gas station or anything like that in limited general now. And let's see, where was the section? There was. Okay, within any light commercial district as indicated, this is 425.24. Within any light commercial as indicated in the zoning map, no lot, building, or structure shall be used, and no building shall be erected, which is intended or designed to be used in whole or in part for any industrial or manufacturing purpose, or for any other than the following specified purposes. So we've got to look at that, and how do you interpret that? It says no lot, building, or structure shall be used, and no building shall be erected, which is intended or designed to be used in whole or in part for any industrial or manufacturing purpose that is not this, or for any other than the following specified purposes. So to me, my interpretation, right or wrong, not a lawyer, is that it says if it's not here, it's not allowed. That's what it says for limited. Now, there is another section, as he's referred to, that says that where things aren't specifically in sections of the code of mineral, it says, you know, if they're not specifically excluded or not specifically included, then you can issue a conditional use permit. And I understand that too. But to me, this specifically says you shall have these or you shall not. And having gas pumps and all, I don't see as being a part of it. I would see it very clearly and easily in general commercial. It also says indeed, parking of automobiles excluding house trailers, freight trucks, and trailers are prohibited. It says parking of automobiles is allowed, but excluding house trailers, freight trucks, and trailers. And I know freight trucks and trailers already have been parking there. And I know there's a great deal of U-Haul things that are there, which that's fine with me. But I would say that the discussion about how much crowding it's going to do if all of those are there, which are on both sides of the parking lot right now, and then the gas pumps are in them. So I don't think it's as cut and dry. And just there's other gas stations in town. The gas stations are there are not in general, are not in limited, they're in general. And the one that was Seaberry's was in general commercial. And the ones that were there near the light were in general commercial.
What's Duke Oil and what is that?
Well, it's on the other side of the track.
No, I know where it is. I'm just wondering what it's,
You're talking about,
I can't see what's general commercial and what's
are you talking about Duke Oil across the track?
Duke Oil across Duke Oil.
It's in general.
It's in general.
So that's general on that side of the railroad tracks.
And in
Got
fact, it's interesting because at one time, all of Main Street was general and there was a change. Yeah, back in the 70s, that changed coding. So,
Well, our insurance company hates that our house is like commercial. Everywhere.
So anyway, that being said,
so I guess the point that would be is,
Is
just because we're having a discussion, if the applicant decided to get rid of all the U-Hauls, would that make it more palatable as?
again, I don't think
Yeah.
tonight we have to go through all
No,
that, but
but I mean,
I'm just.
if that's what you're bringing up, then that's information for him to take and decide whether that helps, you know, situation when he comes back to.
What he mentioned in his write-up, that the decision on the U-Hauls and things like that would be a decision based upon perception of need, and community and town council, and yourself would all be included in that. So I think you've addressed that, you know, that they all need to mesh together if you do all of them. But I'm just pointing them out. There is a distinction. That's why the zoning map, the ones that we have in our comprehensive plan, in fact, you can't tell the streets and tell where anything is, but the pink there going up is light commercial. The gold is general commercial. The light yellow is,
Residential limit.
yeah, it's residential, and the blue is residential. Which one is limited, which is general?
Yellow.
Yeah. So really, we're at a point of just deciding by motion, do you want to, we'll let it go to council with a favorable that a public hearing should be held, or do you not want to? So that's what we're here really to vote on.
And if I may, with the U-Hauls you had mentioned, those can be limited and or terminated as need be. I think with the current building, I should have on property 33 to 37 parking spaces, if I'm not mistaken. So, and as we know, there's only about less than 10. So the parking lines will be redone, all that stuff, and handicaps will be placed accordingly as well. And actually, just this past April, we were top 100 in the US and Canada for U-Haul rentals.
Really?
And I have a sign, I can bring that in, but it's in my office. So, but U-Hauls are not a problem if that's the case, those can be get rid of or terminated. And I believe the town does get part of my sales in taxes.
Mhm.
Problem. So. Open for. A motion, any discussion on it. This is again just in support of. Or not in support of passing on a recommendation to council. For consideration of a conditional use permit.
I move we recommend considering permit to council.
I second that.
So
What?
just hold on, because I'm helping. with
Right.
this here.
We won't say anything else until.
Second discussion.
Friendship vote.
Word. We have a motion, we have a second. All those in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
It's 2 in favor. All those opposed? Aye. 1, so, and you're abstaining. And 1 abstention. So the vote is 2 in favor, 1 opposed, and 1 abstention. And that'll be passed on to the town council.
And there's no official vote from Mr. Henshaw.
I'm just a citizen, I'm not.
He was on council. All right, thank you, we'll pass it along.
Thank you.
All right, folks. One other subject for discussion is the comprehensive plan update. Are y'all agreeing with asking Thomas Justin
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely.
for them to give us the guidance? I've understood that they maybe maybe they've been asked to come and give us training about being planning commissioners and all. And I don't think that that's a bad idea, but I don't think that we have to go through all that first before dealing with the comprehensive plan. It's supposed to be done every 5 years, and this is the 5th year.
Okay.
And so if you look at it as a standpoint of tweaking what's already there versus starting from scratch, I don't see a problem.
Yeah. No need to reinvent the wheel, right? No need to reinvent the wheel.
Exactly.
That took us almost 8 years.
So, what I would point out to you, without getting into discussion, because we don't need to stay here all night tonight. A lot more can be done, is I prepared for the July meeting a list of some things that I thought ought to be considered. To be added, or somehow, a lot of it already is addressed, but just my idea, which I said at the July meeting, was let's give this to the planning district and let them look at the good, the bad, and how this could be incorporated. You know, I haven't had a chance to look at it. I think I may have given Laura a copy of it. I think they gave you. a
I think,
copy of it. Yeah.
I've got something.
I can pass that to you all. I'm not asking, you're not gonna go over and discuss it tonight, but look that over.
Okay.
And then we can discuss that at the next week. Okay,
Do you have extra copies of that list that you had in July? I'm just thinking, I remember.
do I have a copy of what I passed out or what was? Yeah, but
Okay.
I did add two more things which came from what you all had done and what, you know, Jim was passing out, two have been added to it.
Oh,
All right, is there any other things that y'all would like to discuss tonight? And I did not put them in bullet forms and I didn't put.
No, that's okay. I remember we talked about a lot of this, so it's all coming back.
Yeah. So they could do a better job at making them bullet points and things like that, and we may not agree with those, but it was a starting point to have some ideas that might be incorporated. That being said, I'd entertain a motion to adjourn. I entertain a motion to
You
adjourn.
have to make them.
Oh.
I'll second. Hi.
Thank you all. Forward to working with all of you.
Oh,